welcome to Fight City NYC. My name is Ben Chan, and it is time to talk about the boxing this weekend. This weekend on HBO, we have the rematch that not too many people were looking for. It's the Bernard Hopkins, Chad Dawson go-around number 2. Their first fight was on pay-per-view, and it ended up with Hopkins flying out of the ring and injuring his shoulder and not being able to continue. This fight, fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on where you stand, is on free HBO, and it will start with Seth Mitchell versus Chaz Witherspoon, and these are two black American heavyweights, and they both went to college, and that is about all I have to say about that fight. Seriously, neither of these guys is going to be challenging for the heavyweight titles, which are held by Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko anytime soon. But sometimes when you have a fight with two contenders or two up-and-coming fighters, you can get a lot of action. And these guys are on the smaller side of heavyweight, so hopefully we'll get a good fight out of this. If not, then we are depending on the Bernard Hopkins Chad Dawson main event to be a good fight, and I have my serious doubts about that turning into a classic fight. Now, we all know Bernard Hopkins, future Hall of Famer, ruled the middleweight division for a while and has moved up to light heavyweight. And this is a legitimate fight in some respects, in the respect that it's 1 versus 2 in the division. It's Bernard Hopkins who has the belt right now because it was changed to no decision last time, and Chad Dawson, who's number 2. And so you do have the championship on the line. In terms of making scintillating fights, Hopkins stopped making scintillating fights a while ago. He is really good at dirtying things up and really slowing down the pace of the fight so that the fight goes in his favor. Chad Dawson is a young fighter. He's got a lot of talent, and you shouldn't let that happen to him. Unfortunately, in the past, Chad Dawson has shown a habit of fighting down to the level of competition, and if he lets Hopkins dictate the pace of the fight, then he's not going to win this fight. On the other hand, Dawson is a guy who's got youth on his side. He does have speed. He does have some strength. I think he should be able to outwork Hopkins. I'm not going to say that he's going to knock out Hopkins because nobody knocks out Bernard Hopkins. So it's an interesting fight to see what will happen. Hopefully we'll get more than, you know, what we got of the first time they fought. And hopefully, I don't know, sometimes when you have a guy like Bernard Hopkins, an older fighter who's slowing down, he's more willing to stand and fight. Maybe that's the case. But if that's going to happen, Chad Dawson has to make him fight. And I hope that Chad Dawson makes Bernard Hopkins fight. So we'll see what happens with that. And before the fight, at 9:45 on HBO, we have the 3rd episode of 24/7, Cotto versus Mayweather, which is setting up the fight that we're going to talk about next week, the Miguel Cotto Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight. And I guess if you're a fan of magazines, Floyd has a magazine out now, which is all about him, and there's 2,500 copies. You can get it for 25 bucks if you really would like to have a collection of pictures of Floyd Mayweather sitting around at home, smiling and stuff. Thanks for watching Fight City NYC. Tune in next week.